Yeah, okay. So first of all, regarding the course content, this is basically based on the DCA ACI course of Cisco. You can log into the netminion.net and you can go to the courses. You can browse through these courses based on your interest. For particularly talking about the ACI, you have to click on the Cisco ACI. Some YouTube videos are also there, some prerequisites, okay, some information about that is given here. You can also download the course content. Okay, so 1 minute. Okay, so here we have put into the very high level. Okay, sorry, we have 2 pages. Okay, yeah, I think this is good. Yeah. So basically, during the initial class, I would be telling you like what is the Cisco ACI, what is difference between the traditional networking and the software-defined networking, and software-defined networking from the Cisco, basically we call it as a Cisco ACI. Then we will talk about the architecture and the building blocks, like what are the main component of the Cisco ACI, like what are the main component of the ACI solution. Okay, we'll talk about the hardware, that means the form factor, about which switches to choose, what is the software version we should choose. All those things I will tell you in detail during the hardware section. And then slowly we will move into the ACI access policy, which is like a start of the configuration. Okay. So how the ACI has structured, the whole policy thing, how it has been structured, I will be telling you. What will be the overlay policy? What will be the underlay policy? Let's say we wanted to connect a bare metal server. Let's say we wanted to connect a router or a firewall or a load balancer, how we can integrate DMG things. All those things I would be telling you. What are the different logical constructs in the ACI? What is tenant? What is bridge domain, application profile, EPG, and how they have been stitched? How the underlay is talking to overlay to form a holistic configuration, to form a holistic policies. That I would be telling you. So the focus would be more on the concept and the logic rather than going on the theory, so that you get any scenario in a production environment, you will be able to do implementation. ACI packet flow, we would be talking more in detail about the packet flow. What is the significance of ISIS, COOP protocol, MPBGP, VXLAN? In detail, we will be talking the packet flow, how ACI discover endpoint, how endpoint talks to another endpoint, if they are in same subnet, if they are in different subnet, how the things will differ here, how ACI treat the silent host. Okay. Now park this ACI, Cisco ACI code and release. I will be talking in the last section. Okay, before going to the ACI integration, the vCenter and all, let's go downwards. Now, how ACI integrate with the external things? Let's say there is just a pizza box switch, a layer 2 switch. How you can extend the layer 2 connectivity? There can be a scenario when you have already built a new data center based on the ACI, but there is a legacy data center already, maybe of Nexus 7K, 5K, and 2K. And now you have built the ACI of leaf and spine switches. How you can extend the layer 2 connectivity so that some servers which are already in the legacy environment can talk to the servers which are in the new environment. Okay. How you can migrate them, how you can migrate when the gateway are outside the fabric. I'm talking about the ACI here. When the gateway are outside the ACI. So I will talk in detail about the L2 out, layer 2 out, what is the use case of layer 2 out, and how we can do the migration. which is a very huge case. I mean, you go to any company who is implementing ACI, you will get this scenario. Then I will be talking about the layer 3 out. How the layer 3 out in ACI is different from the normal routing. Obviously, it's a routing L3, right? Network. So what happens on the border leaf switches when we connect some external routed entity? How the routes get propagated to the other switches, which are just maybe compute switches. They don't have any connection to the outside. How the transit routing happen between the two L3 out. Let's say there is a one L3 out for the DMVPN router. There may be one L3 out for the internet router or MPLS router. What are the different forms of connectivity that is supported? What are the different protocols that are supported? How you can configure a static route on the L3 out? What do you mean by external subnet for the external EPG? How one EPG talk to another EPG? What are the scope of the contracts? If you need a contract for communication between two EPGs. And you might be aware that ACI support multi-tenancy. How you can create multiple tenant, and what is needed when one tenant want to talk to another tenant. There may be one endpoint in tenant 1, and you created another tenant, and there is another endpoint there. Might be they are in different VLAN, might be they are in same. How they will communicate, how you can do the inter VRF and inter-tenant communication, that we will talking into the L3 out sections. Okay. Micro segmentation. If we say that we need a contact to talk between two EPG, what happened? What is needed when you want to segregate inside a EPG? Then we will talk about the micro segmentation. Role-based access control. Let's say you want to create a user who must be administrator of tenant 1, but must not be having access to the tenant 2. Okay. Monitoring, logging, fault management. Okay. So before that, ACI integration with the vCenter. Okay, how we can integrate the ACI with the vCenter. When we wanted to push some EPG from the ACI towards the vCenter, I mean to say towards the VMware environment. How that integration happen and what is the significance of that. We'll talk in detail about that. Okay. Then we'll talk about the management configurations. How you can configure in-band IP address on the leaf spine and the epic switches. How you can configure the out-of-band management IP addresses. How you can configure SNMP, TACAS. How you can see the faults. What is the meaning of those faults? What is the meaning of audit in ACI? What are the different tools available in ACI to isolate an issue when something which is already working and went faulty? How you can organize the upgrade in the ACI so that there will be minimum impact on the server. So basically these things which I have been doing in my production environment, I use this as a use case and tell it to my students. So I focus on the production scenarios. Basically, if I would say that I do a KT kind of knowledge transfer, so that is not something I'm talking about superficial. That is the same thing which I am doing. Okay. So this is how I carry the transfer of the knowledge. Now, with respect to all these contents, we would be doing the lab as well. So all the things, all the topics will be covered by the lab. All the important labs, I would be doing the demo during the class. And then you guys will follow that during the class. If you have any problem, you can ask the question there itself and we can work together to get it fixed. Small labs, I will give you idea and you can implement while you are offline. Okay. Apart from the, we have, I have already created some deck as well, some course material as well. You will get that. You'll get the recording. Okay. You will get the workbook. Now regarding the lab, we would be doing the lab on the D cloud. Basically, initially we used to do lab in our own premises, but we saw that many students are having access to the D cloud. So we started doing the lab on the D cloud. Any question so far? Jara,
Silent. Kaushik, I can see you are unmuting yourself. If you have any questions, please speak up. Okay, maybe Manish, you can just go with any of the topic, probably just a short.
no, yeah, that's right. I can go, but at least I wanted to have some acknowledgement, like what are the guys' interest and all. Vishal, you wanted to speak something?
Yes, the cloud, is it like chargeable or what? Like it's a free?
No, D cloud is not chargeable. This is free to everyone. Basically, if you have your CCO ID with the Cisco and that is having the partner access, you would be able to do that. So there is a free lab there for the ACI, and there you can just, before going for a class or whenever you wanted to do, you can just 15 to 20 minutes before you can register, and the lab will be ready in 10 to 15 minutes and you can start doing the lab. That is how the cloud is there. Okay, so guys, do you want to discuss anything specific, or I can pick any topic and tell you?
So the credit, lab related.
Sorry?
Hello.
Yes, Sanjay.
तो सर संजय, मेरा नाम संजय है और मेरा लैब के रिलेटेड एक क्वेरी था।
Mm-hmm.
मुझे घर पे अगर सिस्टम पे लैब सेटअप करना हो तो ऑप्शन होगा। मैंने एसीआई का इमेज डाउनलोड किया हुआ है ऑलरेडी, 80 GB करंट जो था
So you can
VMware
set
में
it.
डाल के
Yeah,
हम
yeah,
यूज कर
yeah.
सकते हैं इस लैब में।
Yes. You can use that. That is the best option actually. You can, if you have already the Epic simulator image on your laptop and the laptop has the good configuration, you can do that.
ओके ओके सर, तो इसमें हम लोग को कोई फिजिकल मशीन टेस्टिंग के लिए डेटा फ्लो करवा के चेक कर सकते हैं? इस सिमुलेटर में ऑप्शन दिखता नहीं, देखते होंगे।
No. Simulator actually simulate the actual scenario. So here, when you configure something, it will give you the MAC address and the IP address and the endpoint information, but you won't be able to ping that actually. So you cannot integrate any, external physical device to the simulator. That is the problem. The only thing is you would be able to.
And in the cloud, is it possible?
Yeah, go ahead.
In the cloud, is it possible if some machine
No,
to
D cloud is also simulator based basically. So see, everything is possible in simulator.
Okay.
Okay, everything is possible in simulator. It will give you the fault if you do some mistakes. Okay, so it simulate the whole environment. But let's say if you say that you wanted to ping,
Okay.
so that is not possible.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so okay, then let me take one topic for the, let's say, I don't know why you guys don't wanted to speak here. So, but let me take one topic for the overlay policy in the ACI. So basically, I have, you can see I have access to the D cloud. Okay, I have access to the D cloud lab, and Let me refresh my screen.
Hello, I'm audible, sir.
Yes, Kaushik, you are audible.
Actually, I tried to speak success at that time also. Actually, some
Okay.
sort of a microphone issue is there. That's why I'm not able to speak up.
Yeah,
Hello,
Kaushik.
sir.
Yeah, tell me, Kaushik.
Yeah, yeah. I need to understand that. After this course, am I able to implement the spine and leaf infrastructure or any organization? Is it possible
Yes,
for me at that
yeah,
time?
yes, that is right. Because this course is designed in that way only, and I am telling you that I would be giving you the production scenario. So obviously you would be able to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no meaning of going for coaching, right? You are
Yeah, yeah,
here
sir.
because you
Actually,
wanted to learn the technology, right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Obviously. Actually, I'm gone through one interview that they are asking me for the AC infrastructure things. Actually,
Yeah.
I am pretty much aware of my this three-tier infrastructure, and I'm working in that infrastructure. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
know about this sir AC infrastructure spine list. I read some of the theories, but I need to learn more, sir.
Obviously, so
Application-centric
you are
policy.
at right place. Basically,
Yes, sir.
we are going to talk about details from the scratch.
Yeah, sir. That's it. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
It's good.
so you know that if you are a bit aware about the ACI course, so
Yeah, sir.
ACI policy is being organized in a two way. Okay, one is your underlay and one is your overlay. So
Yes,
your
sir.
underlay part is basically your leaf and spine connectivity, and when you connect something on the leaf port and you
Yeah.
create policy,
Yeah.
those policies are known as underlay. And when you create a policy for defining a network, that are known as overlay policy. So basically in ACI, the networking constructs or the logical constructs are decoupled from the hardware. Basically, that's why it is underlay and overlay actually, and that's why there is a different part to configure a underlay configuration, and there is a different path to configure a overlay configurations. Okay, that's why. So we will talk detail
Okay,
in the
sir.
class, but as of now, I'm just
Yeah.
wanted to maybe I just pick this topic easy for everyone
Yeah.
because maybe many people are not aware about the terminology. So I'm taking this thing as a simple one. So as I said that ACI supports a multi-tenancy. Okay, what do you mean by multi-tenancy? So multi-tenancy is when you can create a multiple policies over the same set of physical hardware, but these policies are totally separated. Okay, so here you can see the tenants is there. Okay, tenants is there. When I click the tenants, you can see 3 tenants are by default here. These are default tenant or pre-configured tenant. But whenever you click on the add tenant, you will see this window and you configure it. Let's say I say prod tenant. Okay, prod tenant, and you click on the submit. So here you can see you are inside the prod tenant. Similarly, if you create any other tenant by clicking here add tenant, that will be also created. Okay, and inside each tenant you can see there is a networking constructs. Okay, there are many more, but as of now you can see these are networking. VRF is there, bridge domain is there, L2 is there, L3 is there, common VRF is there, common bridge is there. Similarly, you can create another tenant and you can say DMG tenant. Okay, and you can create another tenant known as a DMG tenant. So prod tenant will be totally
This
separated
is
from
a
the.
controller for.
Yeah, this is the epic. This is the epic from where I am creating these tenants. Okay, from where I am creating
Okay,
the
sir.
overlay policy. So here you can see we have prod tenant and we have a DMG tenant. But whatever you will create inside the prod tenant, that will be totally separated from the DNB tenant. So let's say, for example, I create a network for 10.0.0/8. And in the DMG tenant, I can use 10.0.0/8 again, but there won't be any conflict. Why? Because each tenant is totally isolated. Whatever the policies I will create here, that will not conflict on the another tenant. And this is I am doing on the same set of hardware. So it's not like that for prod tenant I have different leaf and spine switches, and from DNG tenant I have different set of leaf and spine switches. It is same set of hardware on which I am creating these overlay policies. So based on the environment, yeah, go ahead.
Like the VRF things, right, sir? Single
No, not
hardware with
it is more powerful than VRF. VRF is like, let's say in the router you create a VRF, okay, and when an administrator will log into that router, he would be able to see all the configuration, right? This is not the case.
it is more powerful applications.
Yeah, it's more, it's like you are creating a separate switch logically. So if you want to compare, if you are aware with the Nexus environment, you can compare with the VDC. But even the VDC has limitation, but this guy don't have limitation.
It is more powerful than any other technology.
Yeah, because it's totally separated. And I can define a role-based access policy here. So COSIC, if I say that, okay, provide the access to the COSIC on the prod tenant, so you would be only able to access the prod tenant, you won't be able to access the DMG tenant.
Great.
Yeah, and inside each tenant, to further isolate, we have a VRF as well. See, so now you can understand that inside the tenant, we have a VRF as well. So let's say inside the DMG tenant, we can create maybe 2 VRF or 3 VRF based on the requirement. So if you are service provider, you can create tenant based on the customer. If you are just enterprise network and you want to segregate the environment, let's say prod, UAT and DMG, you can create the tenant based on that. And then you can, let's say 10.1.2.0/24 for prod, 10.1.3.0/24 for a DMG. You can, define and segregate your network. And then based on the requirement, you can do the inter VRF or inter-tenant communication. Let's say some prod server wanted to communicate with the DMG tenant, you can do. So inside, if you click on the networking, I am inside the DMG tenant. Let's say you wanted to create a VRF. So it's very easy. Either you can drag and drop here, and you can see the window open, or you can just do the right click on the VRF part and click on the create VRF. So creating the configuration is not difficult in ACI, particularly the overlay. Although there are some challenges in the underlay that I will tell you in the class. I will make easy for you. But for the logical construct, the configuration is very easy. Okay.
Sir, underlay he has his access layer, right? Like that, sir.
Not completely, actually. There is a more to that, and how the ACI has organized the policy, that is entirely a different, and that takes some time to understand that how they have organized the policy, how the policy is actually reusable in ACI. That will take efforts to learn. Okay.
Okay.
Here you can see
Yeah.
the contexts are there. Okay. So you can create tenant based on the environment or the customer, and then you can go one by one. You can create the bridge domain, you can create the VRF, and then if you wanted to do a routing with some third party vendor, or any MPLS router, then you can go to the L3 out. So like that. But for all
Sir,
the yes,
one question, last question, sir.
no problem.
What is the portion for WAN connectivity, sir? Is it the come under leaf switch or spine switch, sir? Means overlay, maybe, sir. WAN
No.
architecture, third
So
party.
when architecture, basically that will go from the leaf switch, that will not go from the spine switch. Only there are few special cases. Yes, leaf switch.
Okay.
Yeah. Only there are few special cases in which we do a WAN connectivity from the spine. Other than that, you will always go via the leaf switch. So I will tell you in the class,
LAN.
like, yeah. What is LAN?
Means LAN portion is also connected to the sir leaf switch, right? And WAN also. Campus LAN, if there is a campus LAN.
No, no, no.
So if an
See, ACI is a data center fabric. Okay, it is not a campus solution or branch solution. It's a data center. Okay, so here you will be connecting your edge routers,
server.
your load balancers,
Acha, edge
yeah, your workload you will be connecting. You are not going to connect your access point and your access layer switches. There may be some use case. I'm not denying that there may be some use cases. Let's say in the data center itself, there is some portion where somebody wanted to monitor the network. So maybe you can connect a layer 2 switch. There's a mechanism to do that, and they will monitor the network like that. So those things are there, but it is not a campus solution or a branch solution.
Okay, sir. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, I think I have given you the overview. I don't want to jump into a topic which you guys don't understand really. If you are totally new to the ACI solutions, that's why I'm not going to deep dive. If you have any question, you can ask now, we can discuss.
Sir, one question.
Yeah, who is this?
Hello, संजय संजय
Yes, Sanjay, yes.
सर इसमें क्या हम लोग रेस्ट एपीआई या कोई टूल के थ्रू कॉन्फ़िगरेशन जो करते हैं ऑटोमेशन के या अटैचमेंट लगा देते हैं एक्सेल शीट का, तो उस टाइप का भी कॉन्फ़िगरेशन मिलेगा लर्न करने?
नहीं, I'm not going to discuss the automation. That is not under the scope of this course actually.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Okay. And what about the CLI command?
Yeah, CLI. Yeah, CLI will be there. CLI will be there. Okay. Simulator supports CLI.
Okay.
Yeah, simulator supports CLI.
Okay. Manish, maybe you can just wrap it up. Before that, you can provide what is the course duration, okay? When we are gonna, like how much time duration of the course would be during the weekend. Probably those things, if you can provide the details, that would be great.
Okay, so guys, this would be, as we all are working, so this would be, the delivery mode will be the weekend basis. That means we will be having the classes during weekends, okay, Saturday and Sunday. So currently I have some engagement, so I won't be possible in the morning slot, but maybe in evening, I mean, this slot would be great. So let's say starting with the 4 p.m. IST and then going with the 2.5 or 3 hours as per the case basis, actually, based on like how much we are comfortable in going ahead actually that day. So like that, or maybe we can start at the 3 p.m. if you want to start bit early. That is also possible for me, maybe 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. IST.
Sure. Thank you, Manish.